My name is Mr. Kearny Point, and you're watching the I Don't Care What You Think podcast.
Welcome to the I Don't Care What You Think podcast.
We don't care what you think.
We got another special guest in his building,
Mr. Kearny Point himself.
the entrepreneur,
The extraordinaire.
the extraordinaire. Stop.
Wow, I'm humbled.
We're happy to have you. How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this. We've had this on the calendar for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to be here with you guys.
So, to be honest with you, just where did the idea come from? Because if they don't know where they are,
Well, we know you do construction. You told us that.
Yes.
What construction got to do with it?
yeah, like how did construction turn? How did that turn into Jimmy Iovine? Like,
Listen, blame it on Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He says in today's day and age,
Gary V?
Gary
I'm a
V.
big fan of Gary V.
How can you not be? Anybody in business in 2023 needs to at least consume some Gary V content.
Yeah.
And I give him full credit. And to be in business in 2023, you need to be a media company just as much as you need to be a whatever you're doing company.
Right. I agree.
So that's where this came from. We started making videos that were designed to market the product and service that we offered to our customers. And maybe I just have an addictive personality, but it became...
Were you into media like growing up? Growing up, were you into media or was it just like something, like you like to see?
Yeah. Yes, I was. I was always the kid with, the fancy car stereo. I was always I started out when I was very young on our stage crew, so I would work with performers, but work behind the scenes exactly like I'm doing now.
Right.
So it was like in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I was in the back at the mixing board while the others were performing, and this is just an extension of that.
Oh, wow. Why Kearny Point?
My personal and business philosophy is a triple bottom line. So it's people, planet, and profit. So there's a lot of things happening here at Kearny Point that resonate with me personally and professionally. This is a very sustainable redevelopment project that we have here. It's difficult to get to, and there's days I wonder the same thing. Why are we at Kearny Point when I'm sitting at exit 15 here off the turnpike in bumper-to-bumper traffic?
Right.
yeah,
But, what's happening here is profound and is being emulated by other places across the country. And I want for my business to support their business and what they're doing. And they've been very supportive to us, so I'm happy to be here.
question. The team you have, amazing team.
Very.
How were you able to pick this team of trusted individuals? Like, how was that? Because I know it was process of elimination, but how did you, ultimately go, you're the ones I want. You're the ones I believe that can take my vision to the next level?
Yeah, a good question. Great question, in fact. That I wouldn't be here without the help of everybody that's on this team, both in the studio business and in my other company. I'm able to sit here and have this conversation with you because my team over there is so good that they don't need me to be involved every day.
Right.
So, and
Amazing.
it's amazing. It's incredible. And it's the same thing here at the studio. I have an excellent support staff here, from scheduling with Crystal to Alea, who you just met, to Dana, who's running, things here. They're fantastic. I'm blessed. They've had a lot of experience and they have an incredible demeanor. So it's one thing to have experience in the business. It's another to come to work with a positive attitude and a positive outlook on life. In this studio business, we're just as much, I say it to them all the time, we're just as much in the hospitality business as we are in the media production business.
Right.
And that's something that I don't think a lot of studio operators understand. And it's important to me that everybody here share that perspective, because we are here to create a good experience for our customers who come in here to record.
Definitely. Also, how do you feel about networking? Because the field that you're in is just network based. Like everything is within networking. Like, how do you feel about that?
It's one of the most important things that I spend my time doing.
I agree. What's a good way of networking for you? Like, what's worked in your path on your journey?
There are a lot of things that I get involved with that don't necessarily yield an obvious return. Like, it's funny, I've had this conversation with a few artists that have been through the doors recently. I'm reading Rick Rubin. He's a producer
Yeah, I know Rick.
Okay. I'm reading his book right now, or I'm actually listening to his book in my car on the way to work each day right now. And, it's a lot of what he says. I feel that I have to open myself up to the opportunities and open my mind to the opportunities that come and work at keeping it open, right? So, and that part of that is networking. It's part of that is meeting people, understanding what they're up to and figuring out ways that you can work together with those people to elevate both yourself and them and being of service to them. I mean, I have a significant operation here that can benefit
Yes, you do.
others.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, and this is an extension of that. We met, we hit it off. It was, I like what you were up to, and we're back here recording an episode.
And like we said, and
that's networking.
Yeah, that's definitely networking. That's networking. All right, so my question, right? How did you learn? Like, coming from construction, how did you, like, fully learn? Like, I know what kind of cameras I need to buy.
Yeah.
I know, because, like me and you had the conversation. I come from the iPhone.
Yeah.
I just bought my first DSLR camera.
Yeah.
And the learning curve, I was up 2 in the morning for like a week straight, just figuring out how to color grade it with no light. Now when I set it up, I know it just magically works. But like, so, and you learned this probably at a time where it wasn't a lot of tutorials.
Yeah.
So how did you teach yourself truly how to?
Yeah. Wow. So upstairs, I used to have an office. We were up there for several years, and that's where I first got the bug to get into photography and videography. It started with photography.
Okay.
And I bought a camera at Costco. It was like a bundled pack. You get the camera and a couple of lenses. And
how much was that at that time? It was that like you just threw that out there like it was like
it was an investment. It was more than I ever spent on a piece of equipment before. But I knew I needed it for my company. I knew I needed it for our marketing. I knew I needed it. It was a business investment. So, and it was, it was at Costco, so it was a good deal, But I want to say it was probably about $1,500. So it was still pricey, even then. And this is going back a few years. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I took it. I put these lenses on it. I figured out how to take them off, take them on. I switched the camera to the green A setting, which means automatic, and everything it takes care of itself. And I was on my way, and I was just taking pictures. And eventually, I got kind of bored taking pictures because I had it on the automatic setting. I didn't know what all of the other letters on the dial meant.
Okay, all right.
So
we're together on that.
Yeah.
I look at it like Chinese handwriting.
It literally was. And it never even, anytime I turned the knob, I had to turn it back as quickly as possible because I thought I was going to break something and leave it.
And it was going to go totally, oh my God. I know.
But that's what everything, learning anything new. Like you could get a new computer. You like, well, I click this. Oh, what's this? Or if I, but that's what everything. You got to learn everything that you're new to, you got to learn about it and you got to learn it as you go.
So, but I ain't with you.
Let me wrap this up. I never knew what I was doing until a buddy of mine came to the office one day and he sees the camera lying there, and he's a producer, he's a photographer, he's familiar with this type of equipment. And he reaches for the camera and he says, you ever take this off of the capital A green setting? And I was like, I try not to. And he's like, this thing can do some really cool stuff. Let me show you. And he took a few minutes out of his day and turned it to the manual setting and then started showing me what these different numbers and levels and things like that meant. And that was a life-changing moment for me. I still remember the day because now I realize this tool can generate something that's much more artistic and creative than what I had previously been doing. And that opened my eyes to what was possible to hear. So I owe that to him. To this day.
Did you guys ended up doing business further than that, or did you, you ended up doing things together?
Yes. And in fact, he's our resident producer here. So we've gone on to do several projects even here together. Yeah.
What's his name?
Al Kawadi at Kawadi Media.
He taught you something because I'm going to tell you exactly how I went. I opened up the box and set the camera out, right?
I've been there.
So I hit the button. It was video mode. I hit the button. It was slow motion mode. I hit the button. it was picture mode. I'm like, all right, why is this? So then I get on YouTube. I do my search, do everything. No one said use automatic. So I jumped straight in the manual.
Wow.
And I'm looking at it like, what is white balance? What is ISO? What is so I set the camera up just like the guy told me to.
Yeah.
When I left this home and I did the interview, I hit all the lights. I turned it on. I said, let's hope this come out good. And I just said that. But now the problem I have, I'm not the best editor with the laptop.
Okay.
So when I take the video and put it on my phone, it drops the quality of it. So instead of this I have the beautiful 4K version, but it's stuck on the laptop. But when I put it on my phone, it drops it. It's still nice, but it's not beautiful.
I got it. I got you.
So now I'm working on the upgrading the editing software equipment.
Okay.
So I'm with you. I'm with you.
I would like to know, you got all these beautiful things going on. You got this beautiful studio. If a person was to spend a day with Scott, what would they be expecting? Like, I'm talking from start to finish.
Yeah.
Y'all spend a whole 24 hours together.
So you'd be surprised at how boring it is. Honestly, so it's fun to jump into these conversations, but most of my business most of my day is spent staring at a screen. I don't have a lot of middle management right now. So even in my construction business, in the studio business, and all of that, I don't have a lot of departments. I'm a big, small company and not a small, big company.
Okay.
So
I like that.
I spend a lot of my time doing the minutia of running a business, the counting, the finance, the return emails. I put out a lot of fires, all of the, I don't know, can you curse on this? All the
Oh, no.
Yeah, good.
all that shit.
And that's hilarious.
So I eat a lot of, I told these guys all the time, I eat a lot of shit. That's what I do all day, when the client's not happy, when this is not happening, when this is happening. And granted, I mean, we have an amazing staff, we deliver an amazing product, but sometimes not everything's perfect or not.
Right.
Sometimes we don't meet the expectations of the people that come through the door. So we have, that's where I step in and I have to eat a lot of shit all day.
I had a question for you. Would you eat a lot of shit, right? I had a question for you. Y'all do so much here.
Yeah.
The lighting, the logo, the camera setup, everything here. Y'all do so much here. You don't have to say anything. Did you ever get that one client, you was just like, yo, why are you being such a, you're literally just sitting and talking. Why are you being so
antsy?
Get out. Like, that's what you want to say. But you ever had that situation happen to you? But it's like, yo, I'm giving you what you want and you still just
like
the
vibe wasn't right.
Yeah. Fortunately, not in this business yet.
Okay.
In my other company, I've had a few of those situations. And in this company, I've been lucky so far. And it's inevitably you can get somebody you don't see eye to eye with. But what I will say is it took us about a year here to figure out what was this going to be. So Dana was the first person that joined me on this team. And for we were just talking about this the other day. For the first 8 months that he was here, we would spend the day shuffling things around because what we were doing is the opposite of what you just said. We were accommodating everybody. We would walk somebody into this room and say, how do you want it to look for your show? And they would say, oh, wow, I want a chair over here. I want a potted plant over there. I want a table over here. I want these kind of mics and those kind of cameras and these kind of lights and these kind of things.
That's a lot of demand.
Yes.
So when people were doing that, were they, like, oh, we could pay for it? Or were they just like, we need it done?
And so I didn't know enough to price myself in a realm that would make sense, so we're still an emerging studio. We've been in business for 3 years. We've really had this business model for about a year. So in essence, we're just coming to market and we're just now onboarding clients that are interested in working with this type of model. Right. And what I mean by that is we're sitting at a horseshoe-shaped table. We have 4 different cameras pointed at us. We have our logo up in the back. We have the whole thing tailored to your brand and your aesthetic. I didn't always have that figured out. Okay. So there's a lot of our older work product that you could look at that the cameras are all over here and they're all pointed there and the cameras are all over here and they're pointed over here. And every set was different. Every creator had a different thing.
Right.
So not only was I not pricing myself well, I was not running an efficient business because when later that day, when the next creator came in,
Right.
we're dripping sweat from having moved furnitures and cameras and microphones and everything all around to accommodate the vision of the next creator. And, not only are we exhausting ourselves, but we're not fully there for our client as well. And it's just, it was a learning lesson. And we will still make accommodation for people now. But the difference is there's a surcharge to do it.
Yeah.
You want me to take the table out and move some couches and chairs in here because you want more of that Oprah,
Oprah talk show
exactly
type thing.
I'm happy to do it for you. I'm here to serve. But there's a surcharge.
There's a little fee on it. Read that down aloud.
Want that lava lamp, Mike?
Read that down aloud right there. Sorry right there by that down aloud.
And I don't mean it to as a detriment, but I mean it to reflect the cost of what we invest into the production of it, So I'm happy to do it. We have, this is a very affordable setup.
Yep.
You can come in, you can make your content, you can interview your guests, and we can have it all branded for you. I'm happy to move those couches in for you, but there's just going to be a surcharge to do it.
Understood. Definitely.
So I was looking at some of your stuff. I'm like, you do couches? What they got lavalier microphones? What is this? But
That's exactly it. So it took me a while to understand building an efficient business in addition to that tailoring it to our clients. So we work very hard to, as you see, tailor it to your podcast, tailor it to other podcasts.
Definitely.
But on the same token, we keep this format because it's efficient and we can turn this place over in 15 minutes and have the next folks come in.
So I know you said Gary V. Who are some of your other inspirations or motivators that get you going?
Yeah, it changes. The way my mind works is I get into new things. So for a while it was crypto and NFTs and stuff like that, and then now it's artificial intelligence because I'm using a lot of AI to help enhance our productivity here in the studio. We've launched new services based on AI. We write copy now with the help of AI.
Mm-hmm.
We write Instagram captions. We write LinkedIn posts. We generate a lot of additional service for our customers with those tools.
Right.
We caption videos and slice them up for social media. So my whole thing is that this facility is a pillar of your business. You come in here for 45 minutes, you sit down, you do a podcast. That's going to give you content for a month, right? So we're going to take that podcast, we're going to split it up into 2 dozen different pieces. We're going to caption it. We're going to take still photos. We're going to take behind the scenes. We're going to take quotes from it. We're going to put those onto a little thumbnail, and put all of that content. Now, I used to have to hand to somebody because I didn't have an efficient workflow, and let them do the work. Now I can take on that part of it too. Right. So if you're a busy professional or running a business or running a podcast and you want to make that level of content, you can come in here, literally spend an hour or two and leave with a month's worth of stuff.
Wow. Now that's work.
Yeah. So the short answer is it kind of varies. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. There's some core people. Definitely Gary Vaynerchuk is. You always have to come back to some Gary.
I never knew his last name.
Okay.
Never knew that.
Have
you ever met him?
I've never met him. I listened to Grant Cardone for a while. I did meet him in person in an event in the city, but I've never met Gary V. Yeah.
I want to backtrack with you 1 second. I know you said you come from the construction world, and I know we talking about you here in the studio. But what got you into construction?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Like, what even got you? Because the worlds are so different from you, and the way they're not though, because it takes construction to put all this together. So, what got you into construction?
And it's organization, construction, doing this. You gotta be organized. Running the business anyway.
So, what got you on that path? Like, this is what I want to do. I want to go the construction route, and then opened up doors for you to do other things. But what made the core?
Sure. You're opening a little bit of a box here because my construction company is not like most. It's I was in a corporate job. I had been there for 10 years. Myself and a friend of mine, a buddy of mine at the time, and we're still good friends. We were looking for a business to start together. Mm-hmm. We would sit around, have lunch together. There's got to be something out there. What could we get into? And it was during the time of the financial crisis. I'm a little older. The mortgages were going crazy. The banks were shutting down. It was when Lehman Brothers and all that stuff was happening, and it was just it was nuts. So we wanted something that had people needed, that there was a lot of incentives for, and that we could sell during a rough financial time. it turns out the state of New Jersey has a lot of different incentives to make your home more energy efficient. So my construction company does insulation, heating, air conditioning, and hot water system replacement. So, and we do that through the utilities here in New Jersey. So these utilities offer a lot of incentives to homeowners, up to $5,000 in cash back and up to $15,000 in on-bill repayment to make your house more energy efficient. So my company delivers those services to consumers through that program. So we took about a year and a half and got all of our certifications and read, and we needed all kinds of accreditations and all kinds of different stuff. I needed to know the business. So it took about a year and a half. We learned the business. Then him and I got out there. We took on our first project together. It was in the middle of July, and we were in Paramus, New Jersey. We were in an attic pulling up, old dirty insulation and blowing in new insulation. And him and I did that for several years. And we would do the construction during the day. We would sell the stuff at night. We would meet with clients on the weekend, and we just grind.
And y'all was able to get away from that job that y'all was working.
We still, we were able to grow the company.
That's what I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to be working for 30 years.
Yep.
I want to be in charge of my own stuff.
Yep.
I feel you with that.
The best, I would have to say, the most impressive thing about you is how hands-on you are with every project that you put yourself in. Like the passion behind wanting to be there, seeing every client, going, doing everything. I might can't draw, but I'm right there. What's the plan? I appreciate that because so many people put their companies on cruise control and only show up when it's going bad. You there to see it like, oh, it's going bad. You ain't waiting for an email to tell you it's going bad. Like you catch it ahead of time.
Like even when we first met, like we thought we were just coming here to see a tour. Like we came here, we met you, down to earth, you spoke to us, you heard our story, showed us around everywhere. You even showed us some other rooms. But it's just nice to meet somebody that's like at your stature or like, like in your field and you're a boss. So it's nice to see somebody that's top of the company coming to speak to who want to know about the company.
I appreciate that. I'm actually trying to. It's funny. The next client that's coming in here, his belief is that you should never even touch your businesses. You shouldn't be in it. You should. So, I'm in order for these businesses to grow, I need to be a little less hands-on than I'm used to being. So that's actually something I'm trying to work on in myself. Is how can I let go a little bit, bring people in, and have them run different things and empower them and trust them.
But let me offer you a rebuttal, though.
Please.
You might feel that way, and he might feel that way, but my rebuttal will also be, it works for Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
that's true.
To the point where he was an actual superstar, like wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, he never disconnected. He went from, he was owning it and was a commentator.
That's true.
And then he told you, I'm the owner, my father passed away. And was wrestling, blood, jumping off the ladder, all the whole. So at the same time, it does work.
Yes,
it does.
But there are times it don't work.
But it's
there's a 50-50 thing.
It's never bad to try new things though. Like,
no, it's not. Yeah. But the whole not wanting to be too involved into the business.
I agree.
That's the perfect example. That and what his father did with it, who wasn't that hands on with it, he could never do.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, I agree with what you're doing. Like, as far as like how I said when we first met, what you do right there, I don't know anybody that would see a problem with that.
Yeah. No, I had to do what I had to do. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to disassociate myself with business, but I want to fill in. Right now, I spend a lot of my time doing things that aren't as productive as they could or should be. Okay. So, there's no reason why these companies shouldn't have an accounting department and a marketing department, and I shouldn't, there are certain things that it's silly for me to be doing right now. I would be my time would be much better spent going out and meeting, doing that networking we were talking about, finding new opportunities for us to get involved with, finding new creators to create with, and having those sort of conversations.
That kind of what you just said kind of goes into my next question. I was going to ask you, how important is it for your business to be as successful as you want it to be?
It's incredibly important to me, especially with the amount of hours that I'm working right now. Like, I want this facility to be open 7 days a week. So right now I'm filling in on the weekends while we build a roster of creators that create here on the weekends. So I'm working 7 days a week right now. I have a wife and 2 daughters, and they are making the sacrifice, and I'm making the sacrifice right now that they don't see me very often. So, if I'm going to take that time away, then it's very important to me that this is successful.
You know what's crazy? I was watching the Wu-Tang Saga this morning. You have a work ethic like the RZA, the producer for the Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
He was basically doing that. Like he wasn't even like they got a mansion. His his wife, girl, whatever. She there, and she like, yo, you ain't sleeping in bed in like 2 weeks. He like, I'm working. Like, she like, don't forget you got a bed. He like working. Like he ain't even changing his clothes.
Yeah.
And he got everything laid out like for every artist in Wu-Tang, every solo album. And you got a lot of RZA in you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know that was filmed here, right? We're
Yep.
in this building.
Yep.
Wow.
In this building.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's crazy. Look at the neck. Yep. So you probably don't walk past that guy. That's plenty of RZA. Yeah, you probably turn faster. That's crazy.
Alea just interviewed one of the producers.
Oh, for real?
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
I did not know that was Shahid.
We'll be dropping that podcast soon.
That's crazy.
We don't want to keep you too long. We just got a game we play called Cap Effects.
Oh yeah, we gotta get
You come into our world.
Okay.
So Ray's gonna explain it to you.
right. So I got 5 questions for you. Cap meaning is what cap meaning again? It's a lie.
Cap mean
Cap is a lie.
Cap means you disagree.
It's a lie.
Okay.
And facts.
Facts mean you agree with a question.
Okay.
Let's explain why you agree or disagree, but it's cap or fact.
All right.
So I got 5 questions. I'm gonna start with the first one. You can't succeed without failing first. Cap or facts?
Is there a medium? Is there an in between?
Nope, it's either.
You can't succeed without failing first. See, my issue with that is that that's a very common phrase, and I feel like people. I don't think failure is a bad thing, but I don't think you have to fail first.
Okay.
You know, so I did have a business when I was young, and it failed technically. So I'll say facts, but with an asterisk.
But see, it failed. So when you got into your next business,
You succeeded.
you tweaked, which you may have messed up.
Well,
Not every.
It failed because I was very young and stupid, and I was lazy, and I would drive around and go hang with my buddies instead of going out to do the work. But
And now
that's
you go out and do it.
Right.
You was like, oh, I'm not doing that
7
again.
days a week. There you go. All right. So fact.
Cap or facts? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Facts.
You don't care to explain.
You know,
It's self-explanatory or?
I don't know many people who are successful that don't work hard.
There we go. That's what I like.
Dang, I wish you had the horn right there. I blew that one. That one no what? Cap or facts, and you explained this many a times. You need a team. For whatever.
100% fact. Capital fact, capital F,
Have it.
capital C, capital T, exclamation point.
Cap or facts, overreacting has its consequences.
Yeah, fact, 100%.
Oh, you for
100%.
And for my last one, and he got one right after me. Cap or facts, stability is a must. No matter what you're doing or what you got going on, you need stability.
Fact. People need to come to work to a job,
Definitely.
not to a shit show.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
they need to come to work knowing that there's a certain amount of peace and tranquility, and even if it's a chaotic environment, that their world is going to be the same as they knew it yesterday. That's something that I believe very much.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I wish I did have one.
And our last question for you. If you do not enjoy doing it for free, then it's not the profession for you.
Wow. You know, you're talking to an insulation contractor.
Yes, man.
You know, up in those attics in 110 degrees.
I can't stand 90-degree weather. 110, I'm
You get in an attic, you're pushing 150 on a hot summer
Because
afternoon.
it's like before you get any client, you got to learn this. All of this is free. All your time is free. You're not bringing $1 in. So do you feel like if you don't enjoy it at that stage,
Yeah.
just leave it alone?
If I feel like I don't enjoy it, I kind of take enjoyment out of it. Like, I'm doing this to satisfy a creative part of me.
Okay.
I'm doing this, so I'm gonna say cap, because, you know, like I didn't necessarily enjoy getting into those projects in the early days and doing the work myself, I learned a lot from it. The company benefited because of it. And the way that I work with people today is informed by the amount of work that I put in back then. But I enjoy the idea of building a business, but I don't necessarily know agree that you need to enjoy every moment of it. It's work, it's work, like it's a bitch, like.
A bitch is right. Definitely is.
100%
Do I do it for, did I do that job for a very low price? Did I do other jobs for a very low price? Do I still do work here for a very low price and for free to build up my presence in the business?
Right.
Yes, but I don't know that I'm going cap on that one.
All right, thank you.
And before you go, I just
Yes, sir.
want to ask you one last question. Not a question, but is there any advice you could give to people that's doing anything, or entrepreneurship, or starting a business? Anything you could give to the people or our fans?
Yes. Become a student of your profession. Know what you do. Know the business that you're in. Like, I sit here on this side of the mic, and what I realized, I started a podcast for my construction company, and I would, and this is, I own a studio. I don't have to try to better myself. I have all the equipment. We can do this all day long, but I would watch myself present, and I felt I would talk like this, and I would talk in a very low, steady, monotone voice, and it was not very dynamic, and it was really difficult to listen to. And I would watch Dana's eyes glaze over while he's editing my videos. and so I said, I have to change this part of me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my own podcast. That means I am now, in addition to be a studio operator and a construction company, I am now an entertainer. And I need to become a student of that profession. I may not master it, but I went and got voice lessons. I learned, how to modulate my voice. I learned that we're all trained to end sentences on a down note, and we're all trained to answer questions on a high note. But there are some sentences that you can end on a high note, and there's a certain way of speaking, and there's some construction happening around here, and there's a certain way of speaking that you can get rid of filler words, and there's a lot of things that you can do to improve your voice and how you communicate. And the funny thing is that those lessons I now find when I'm having conversations with another professional are now paying dividends, because now my voice is not so monotone and people aren't already realizing what I'm going to say before I even say it, or thinking they know what I'm going to say because I'm just talking so
Sure.
So now those conversations are much more interesting, and I'm realizing benefit outside of that. So my advice is to become a student of your profession. Don't just show up. Invest in it and master it, work at it. There's a lot of people that come here to create content that really could benefit that they may be talented in their core, but they need development to be to realize the full vision of themselves.
I agree.
Thank you, Scott, for coming through here.
Coming by. Thank you for inviting us to your home.
Thank you for inviting us to your home, Mr. Kearny Point.
My pleasure.
Yeah, Mr. Kearny Point. Y'all this is push that. This is Mr. Kearny Point. Anybody that need to know who this is,
anybody,
Mr. Kearny Point. You see him, you call him Scott. He gonna tell you he's Scott. We gonna tell you he Mr. Kearny.
He Mr. Kearny Point.
You heard that here first on the I Don't Care What You Think podcast.
Follow us everywhere. It's Kearny PT Studio. KEARNY PT Studio. Kearny. That's it. Instagram and Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. You can catch episodes of our house podcast on YouTube.
All right, check that out.
Check that out, definitely. And we need to drop.
Yeah, I'm Scott, and you watching I Don't Care What You Think podcast. I'm Mr. Kearny Point. And you watching I Don't Care What You Think podcast.
I Don't Care What You Think podcast.
Cheers.
I sip, I roll my weed up. Niggas trip, but they can't see us. Big plays when I'm on top now. I got this, kick your feet up. Watch how I double up now. It's gonna cost 10 to 6.